Hello and welcome to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial by me, FoxyNoTail, here on a random world with Steve, Minecraft Steve. But forget about him for a moment. We're going to talk about spectator mode for Minecraft Bedrock Edition today, and if you don't know what spectator mode is, it's basically a game mode that's been on Java Edition for a very long time, and let's look what it can do. So hopping over to Java Edition very quickly to do a quick demonstration, I'm here with Chuck, and if I go into spectator mode like so, I will go invisible. I can just about see my face, Chuck won't be able to on his screen, and I can now fly around and keep my eye on him. So I could either be a camera recording him doing a time lapse, I could take screenshots of a build he's made to make it look really cool, or I could follow him around on a server if he was a player that was maybe up to no good, or maybe just a new player and you want to keep your eye on your players on your servers. Spectator mode has loads of handy features to do that. So yeah, it's really, really useful for lots of things, but we don't have it on Bedrock Edition until now. And flipping back to Bedrock Edition, you can see behind me there is a wall with some items and some signs underneath with some description of what might be going here. Let's check out the items in these chests. They are exactly the same as the ones on the wall, and let's see what happens. I'm also going to take a couple of spawn eggs as well. So, what we've got here in my hand, we've got a diamond, a golden carrot, we've got an iron ingot, we've got a chorus fruit, and we've got a bottle of water and a bed. Now, if I hold the diamond like this and crouch, you'll see it says camera mode activated and I've gone invisible. Now you can still see the item I'm holding, but if I go to a free hand, I'm completely invisible, and if I press F1, all of a sudden I am the perfect camera account and I can video Steve doing what he's doing. Now I can fly around, but I'm not in creative mode. I'm actually in adventure mode, so I can't break anything. Now I can still access chests and take things out of chests, but I can't go around hurting anyone, I can't break anything, and I can't place any items. I can fly around, which is absolutely great, and I am completely invisible. I'm also, if you notice, I've got resistance. I've also got a whole bunch of effects that you can't see, such as fire resistance, water breathing. In fact, let's go check them out, shall we? Let's go find some water. So if I go down into the bottom of this lake here, you'll see that no bubbles appear on my screen. I can be under here for as long as I want. If I then use the iron ingot, however, I will come back again and my bubbles will appear and they will start going down. If I use the diamond again, I'll go back into being a camera and the bubbles will disappear. So this is very, very useful. Now, if I'm flying up in the sky, when I use the iron ingot, I'm technically going back into survival mode. So, you know, I might fall down and break my legs. So what I've done is I've made it so the iron ingot will only activate when you sneak and your feet are touching the ground. So you can see there, I'm sneaking, but it's not deactivating, but when I hit the ground, there we go, it deactivates. So there's a couple more things to this. We've got a golden carrot here. That's exactly the same as what the diamond does, but it gives you night vision as well. So let's make it nighttime, and let's see how that affects things. Okay, so it is midnight now. If we activate our diamond, you'll see we just go into normal spectator mode. There's nothing unusual about that. If we use the golden carrot, however, we all of a sudden can see a long way away. It's like it's daytime all of a sudden. And these are really useful for doing time lapses of night builds or in caves and things like that. So that's pretty cool as well. The other items we've got a chorus fruit. Now, if I click this chorus fruit as if I was going to use it, let's see what happens. I teleport to the nearest player to me. I will never teleport to myself, although I used to do that before I figured out the code properly. But now, yeah, I will teleport to the nearest player, which makes getting around as a spectator account very easy. Now, we can't actually pick which player we're going to go to. It will always be the closest player to us, but that's really handy. And last but not least of the spectator mode things, I've got this bottle of water here, and if I click it like that, you'll see follow mode has been activated. And if I try and move my mouse, the screen goes all kind of herky-jerky. But let's see what happens when Steve starts moving. There we go, look, we are automatically following. I'm not moving my mouse or anything like that, but we are now following the closest player to us. Now, it is a bit herky-jerky. It doesn't look particularly great, but over a time lapse, that herky-jerkiness shouldn't be too apparent, and it should look pretty good. So what we have to do to get rid of that is just take another sip of that water, and that will be deactivated, and we can go on as normal. Now, the chorus fruit item and the water bottle item will not work if we deactivate this. If we deactivate the camera mode like that and then try and use the chorus fruit, it does nothing. Similarly with the water bottle, it does nothing. It only works when you are in the camera mode or when you've got the night vision camera mode enabled. But what about zombies and phantoms? Won't loads of phantoms spawn while you are AFK in the air? No, they won't, because I've made it that instead of having to be awake for just 3 nights before phantoms will spawn above your player, you now have to be awake for 10,000 nights in game for phantoms to spawn above the camera count. So when you're a player like this, it's 3 nights, just like normal. When you're a camera count, 10,000 nights worth of non-sleep is required before phantoms will spawn. Additionally, because we're invisible, when that happens, the mobs can't see us, so they won't fight us. So if we spam some zombies down here like this, and some phantoms as well, and then we activate our mode like that, you'll see they've forgotten who we are. They've all forgotten about us. They won't do anything to us at all. Now that we are invisible, we can go along and do what we want without getting distracted by the phantoms or attacked by them. However, if you go round and you go and punch one of these guys, they are going to be able to see you regardless of the fact that you're invisible, and they will chase you. So I strongly suggest that you don't go round punching any zombies while you are the camera mode. There are a couple more handy things hiding inside this pack when you are a camera mode that I can demonstrate now. One of those is resistance to fire and lava. As you can see, as the normal player, I will burn when I go in lava. When I activate the camera count, a couple of things will happen. First of all, I'm completely immune to the lava or the fire, which is great. As you can see, I'm actually standing in this now. Second of all, I get full saturation as well. So my hearts will go back up, my food will keep going up, so I'm not going to starve to death while I'm in this mode, which is very, very handy. So yeah, it's just overall, it's a great little system. If I go back to me being me now, I'm not going to regen too much. And there is one more thing in this pack, which I'm also going to be adding as a separate pack on its own, and that is one player sleep. Now, there are no command blocks or ticking areas in this world at all. If I do the command ticking area list, you can see there are no ticking areas in this current dimension. There's none in the nether or the end either. But if I pop this bed down here and I go to sleep in it, you'll see the night sky will go round, even though I've got another player here, and it says good morning at the next night. Let's do that again. This time we're going to get our friend to go to sleep. If they go in there, you'll see the night spins round very quickly. The sun always stops at the right point, and our friend is awake again now, which is absolutely fantastic. So one player sleep, just as part of an add-on, no command blocks needed. And yes, I will do that as a separate pack as well, in case you're not particularly interested in this spectator mode pack. Now, I guess we need to actually talk about how we activate this pack, because it might not be quite as simple as you would think. The majority of it can just be added to your world with the add-on, like so. If we start a new world and we go to our behavior packs, we can add that behavior pack to a new world, and that's it. That is added in there. The one player sleeping will work already, but the camera account is not going to work yet, and let's find out why. Well, for a start, whatever world you activate this on, you are going to need to activate cheats so that you can run some commands. You will be able to turn that off again later on and potentially get your achievements, but to get this set up and working, you do need to activate cheats. So let's turn that on. Let's go back to play, and now let's give ourselves a diamond. So I've got a diamond and an iron ingot here. If I crouch while holding the diamond, nothing's going to happen. Basically, we don't want this pack to be turning people invisible and giving them a load of effects every time they crouch while holding a diamond or an iron ingot or a golden carrot or something like that. And also for security purposes, the player that has this enabled needs to have a tag called trusted. And the way we do that is we do a slash command. We do slash tag @s if it's yourself, or the player name if it's somebody else, and then you do add, and then you do trusted. As soon as the player's got the trusted tag, they will then be able to use the system. This allows you to keep your world safe and prevent just anybody from using it. Maybe you just want your mods to use it. Maybe you just want camera accounts to be able to use it that aren't the actual player accounts. And the other thing it does is it means that, yeah, you're not just going to have all of your survival players just suddenly turning invisible as they're walking around the world, which is quite handy, really. That's one side of it. The other side of it is, at the moment, I can't fly. It doesn't say I can fly when I activate it. I am invisible and I've got all the effects, but I can't fly. The problem is that Mojang have done a very good job of making sure that we can't fly without creative mode in the base game. So what we need to do is come into our world settings and flick the Education Edition switch. And what this will do is create a brand new copy of your world. So your old one will be safe in case you want to revert back later on. And then when we go into this, we now have the ability to fly, because the flying ability is actually part of the Education Edition features. Now, this won't affect your game. Being in an Education Edition in survival mode will not give you anything else that you can't already get. It won't affect the mechanics. It won't affect mob spawning or farms or anything else. Now, there are other features of the Education Edition within the game, but you need to be in creative mode to access those. If we go to the creative menu now, you'll see there is a whole bunch of items that we didn't get before. We've got elements from the chemistry pack. We've got different crafting tables and stuff that we can use. Now, these crafting tables, you can't get these in survival, so they're not going to cause you a problem. You're not going to randomly start picking up elements as you go digging around the world. So don't worry about having Education Edition loaded on your world. It won't make any difference to you from what I can see. It just means that your spectator account is now going to be able to fly. If you don't want to enable education mode, that's perfectly fine. Let's go back to the world without it. Your camera account will still work exactly the same way, it just won't be able to fly. So it's still going to be immune to everything. It's still going to be able to breathe underwater. It's still not going to attract phantoms or mobs. If we go down here, these drowns aren't going to be bothered by us. Shouldn't be bothered by us. No, they're not. I thought they were coming for a second. But yeah, it's going to work just as well. So it's just the flight. So if you're not bothered about the flight and you want to be able to use this without, you don't need to enable Education Edition. Also, the one player sleeping will still work just fine without Education Edition being activated. This pack also works on servers. If you're using the Bedrock dedicated server, otherwise known as the BDS, it will work on there. I've loaded up a copy of Truly Bedrock here, and I have added the Education Edition tag, which I'll show you how to do on servers in a minute. I do have the trusted tag on here, and you'll see I can go invisible, I can fly, and I can turn it off as well. What I can't do on here though is I can't use the chorus fruit to teleport to another player, and I can't use the water bottle to follow another player. That is just a limitation of add-ons on servers at the moment. I don't know if it's a bug or a purposeful limitation, but basically there's no way to detect certain things when running on a server. But otherwise, the spectator mode still works absolutely fine. So we can use this on servers. Let's look at how we enable Education Edition on a server. Now, I like to use my favorite program, which is MCC Tool Chest, to do these sorts of things. You can do this on any world, but yeah, the server is going to be exactly the same. If we load up a world, open up the level.dat, you'll see there is an option here saying Education Features Enabled. By default, that will be on 0. If you want to turn it on, just double click it, change it to 1, and there you go. That is Education Features enabled on your server. You can then save that and put that back on your server. The last thing I'm going to do is show you how to actually install the pack on the Bedrock dedicated server, because that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So let's have a look at how that works. The Bedrock dedicated file system is not that easy to navigate. Your world folder is inside the worlds folder, which contains your world, and there is a behavior packs folder in there and a resource packs folder in there. We don't need to use either of those. If we go back to the main folder layout, there is one at the top called behavior packs, and this is where we're going to be putting our pack. So I'm going to copy and paste the download of the pack that I just took from my website directly into this behavior packs folder, and I could just run it from there, but I do need some numbers from inside the pack. So if I change the .mcpack.zip, I can then open that as a zip file, like so, and inside you'll see it says spectator, and there's a manifest file there. If I double click on that manifest file, I'm going to get a text document comes up, and this UUID number is what we need. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm also going to take note of this version number here, which for this is 200. In fact, let's copy both of those two lines there. We need to then come back to our folder. We're going to go back to our zip file, and we're going to rename that back to MCPack. We're going to leave that in there like that, and then we're going to go back to our main folder, and there is a file here called valid known packs. So let's double click that, and you'll see there's a list of all of the behavior packs and resource packs from here, and we need to make a new one. So first of all, I'm going to paste in that data that I've got just so I don't lose it, and then I'm going to copy and paste another one of these that is a behavior pack there, and I'm going to make sure I get that comma there, and I'm going to paste it right at the end there, and I'm going to use this UUID, and I'm going to replace that one with it. I'm going to change this version here to 2.0.0 so it matches that one there, and then I can get rid of those. I can change that to the file name that we had, which was FSMV 2.0.0.mcpack, like that, and then hashes I'm going to get rid of, and from disk we can leave there. That's absolutely fine. You don't need from disk, you can delete it and it will work with or without. So now we're telling the Bedrock server that we know about this pack and it lives in our behavior pack. So let's save that file there. Let's close our text editor and let's go into our worlds folder and our world folder. Now we don't need to put anything inside the behavior packs folder, but we do need another file in here. And that file we can pinch from any of our actual Minecraft single player worlds that has a behavior pack installed. And the one we're looking for is worldbehaviorpacks.json. So let's just copy that one and paste it in here, open it up, and then we need to make sure that number is exactly the same. The pack ID in the version need to be exactly the same as what we had in our other files. So let's go back to valid known packs. Let's copy and paste those again. Then let's go back to worlds and world behavior packs. Let's just paste that in the bottom so we can check that that one there is exactly the same as that one, and that version there is the same as that. It's formatted slightly differently. You do need to follow that formatting, but as long as those numbers are the same, we can save that. Now when we load up this world as a server, it should have the behavior pack installed. So let's try it. Okay, I've got this server running in the background. Let's open Minecraft and let's log into it. And let's see if it's all working. So I've appeared randomly in this place. Let's give ourselves the right tag. Tag @s add trusted. And now let's give ourselves a diamond and squat. And there we go. We've gone invisible, but we can't fly because no education edition has been installed on this just yet. But we can do that via the world edit software like we saw earlier on. So there we go. That's how to add a pack to the Bedrock dedicated server package. So there we go, we now have a fully functioning spectator mode in the Bedrock edition of Minecraft with flight, invulnerability, camera count, stuff galore. It's amazing. There's just one thing it's missing, and that is the ability to fly through blocks. Now I've nearly done it. I thought I was going to go through there. I can't quite do it. There is an option in the add-on system that allows you to get rid of collisions. It doesn't seem to work for players, sadly, so I've minimized the player's hitbox when it's a camera count, but I still can't quite get through blocks and I can't go through the floor. So that's the only downside, the only thing it's still missing. I will keep working on this, and hopefully if I can get that working in the future, I will release a new version. But for now, you can get this version from FoxyNoTail.com. Head over there, get to the downloads page, and you can download that today. And as said, I will also include a one-player sleep package on its own, just in case you don't want the camera pounce stuff on your world or your server. You can just have the one-player sleep thing on there instead. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful, and I really hope you like and download the pack. Let me know in the comments if you did, and also don't forget to join my Discord where you can ask me all sorts of questions, and if you're having any trouble with it, head over there and ask me. My Discord link is in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do please leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!